Hi, Sienna Songbird here, coming to you today, wanting to talk a little bit about how to use the holiday time to improve your health, not get run down in your health. Um, I'm really struck and wanted to share this meme that I think is really funny. A couple years in a row, I've seen this. The meme goes, in the US, we have a candy holiday, Halloween, followed by a pie holiday, Thanksgiving. Next, a cookies and candy holiday before a boozer holiday, New Year's. And we call it flu season rather than sugar poisoning season. I just think that's really poignant. And a lot of people do get sick at this time of year or run down, which is actually like going opposite to what nature would have us be doing in this time. As the days are shorter, as it's colder, it's a conservation time, a time to pull in and charge up our inner resources so that when we come time to spring out in the spring, that we have enough inner reserves to make it through that whole year. So this is a really crucial time to take care of your health. And it can be so easy to get swept up in the momentum of the season and the habits and ideas that other people have for how we should be showing up or how we should be spending our time or how we should be taking care of our bodies. But this video is just an invitation to you to consider with me what some of these traditions do to us and what maybe the effects are and some other choices that we could make. So why is the holiday season like so hard on our health? Well, one of the obvious ones that doesn't affect everyone because not everybody is drinking, but the alcohol consumption can often go up, which is, really hard on the body. It's basically poison. And that one seems pretty obvious, so we don't need to get super into that. Um, but another one is the like large amounts of mixed foods. So like food combining issues, we're having really big meals that are made up of, a variety of different peoples bringing different kinds of food and we're eating it all at once and our body's not used to that. And sometimes also bad combining of foods, including and then of course sugar and treats, baked goods and some of these things that we really don't see a lot of the rest of the year, and then we sort of overload our system with these sugary things, these treats. A lot of these meals also encourage overeating, which is another thing that we know for a fact contributes to making stones in the liver, building up congestion in the liver. Additionally, eating at like the wrong times also builds up congestion in the liver. And this might be like eating too late in the day, um, eating before the previous meal is totally digested, or eating when you don't have the digestive power to metabolize that meal in a good way. Um, another another aspect of the holidays that is challenging on the system and our health is the switching up of routine, maybe not being in your normal environment. You are out of your comfort zone. You might be also missing sleep due to a variety of these sort of social activities or really late meals or really late parties. So we're also starting to sort of mess with that natural circadian rhythm of the light and the dark cycles. And at this time when actually like again we're being asked to sort of consolidate our resources and our energy, the sun is going down earlier, which means it's a good time to rest more and like pull inwards at that time, stay warm and cozy. We might be doing the opposite. We might be going out and missing sleep and staying up late. And if we combine overeating late in the day plus alcohol, which totally short circuits the body's ability to digest food, And also adds this like huge amount of thing to process, but then we don't sleep until 1 a.m. Our body didn't get those hours where it does the best toxin processing and cleaning up of the bloodstream. So this is going to compound and eventually make us sick. Another sort of like smaller one might be that you're underdressing. You're trying to be like wearing fancy clothes, and so you're not taking care of like your legs and your feet staying warm, which will which will drain vital energy out of internal organs and just that general internal fire. And another whole aspect is like the stress that the holiday season brings. I mean, there's this sort of like counterintuitive like activity of like being out in the cold and being out in the dark. But then there's like, the stores are really busy, everything's kind of overcrowded, and everybody's kind of in a rush and stressed. And then additionally, there's this pressure to like expend extra money to buy presents for people. There's uncertainty in like what's happening, the changes of routine. And then for some people, seeing family or not seeing family when you're supposed to be seeing family can also add a lot of stress. And then, we add all of these things up together and people end up getting sick. And this is why, we call it flu season. And there's a lot of viruses that can take us down because, why does that happen in the body? It happens when the body is overwhelmed by a need to detoxify and it can't keep up. It can't keep up, so it builds up, and then we need an avenue to do a bigger clean, which usually looks like some kind of cold, a lot of mucus production or fever or diarrhea or any of these things to take the load down a little bit. And that wouldn't necessarily be needed or happen if we were able to maintain, care of our body and not tip the bucket over that threshold. So what are some sort of basic, like, let's talk about some easy tips that we can apply where we don't have to change everything. We can still participate in the holidays, but let's just see if there's some easy things that we can start to rein in the damage that is being done. So let's talk first about the eating escapades, right? Because that really hits people really hard. So one thing you can do is mindful eating. So even if you are going to indulge in things that are sort of outside of your regular self-care dietary program, you can eat them in a way that's really mindful, and therefore you will have less of a chance to overeat. And also, it's really powerful to eat mindful and actually stay mindful of how you feel before and especially after eating, and sort of tracking yourself with this mindfulness of the impact of any given substance that we're ingesting. That can really help us hone in our feedback. And there might be some like habits from the past of like eating a meal, like it's like, oh, it's like Thanksgiving, got to eat as much as you can and it's so good. And you might actually find that it is possible to, if you can bring mindfulness to the experience, that there's a way to slow down that consumption so that even if it's kind of a lot and more, kind of intense for your body, that damage could be lowered if we eat mindfully, slowly, really enjoying what we're eating and also the environment of who we're with. Something also to help around these meals is to take digestive support, so enzymes or apple cider vinegar or bile salts, whatever works for you for sort of aiding the process of your body digesting, especially if there's things you're not used to, quantities you're not used to, or combinations that you're not used to. Something that has helped me too, if I know that there's going to be sort of a feast happening, I might eat less beforehand, or especially afterwards, give myself extra time to fully process that food. So, um, of course, be careful if you are triggered by fasting, and it doesn't need to be an extreme thing, but just trying to make sure that our body has the resources and is given the opportunity to receive and process what it is that we do take in. A simple a simple trick too is to drink water before any alcohol, and like every drink you have, try to have water, and also to have hydrating liquids before a meal, at least 30 minutes before a meal, but to try to curb that situation where you're actually eating because you're dehydrated, you're thirsty. So keeping tabs on your hydration level during the holidays can be so helpful. And in general, lemon water, warm water with lemon juice in the morning, maybe with a little bit of high quality sea salt in there, can really help to process from the night before, especially if there was alcohol or if there was staying up late to any degree. In terms of the stress, something that we can practice is taking care of ourselves when we're around company. Just because there's a house full of people or we're around all these people doesn't mean that you are not allowed to step away to take care of yourself, even just for 5 minutes of breathing time to sort of like decompress. The energies can be really strong, and maybe at other times in our life we didn't notice how intense it was to like be around so many different energies and people. But as we're healing and getting more sensitive, we might also notice that we're more pulled off center or really affected by those things. So just like a little bit of space and alone time with some breathing, and grounding, can really help resource us to go back in and to then also make the most of, these experiences with people that we likely care about. If you're in a really stressful moment, especially, trying to hold yourself back from like reacting in a way that you don't want to, I highly, or feeling really anxious, I recommend the 4-4-4-4 box breathing. So that's inhaling to a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, and holding empty for a count of 4. I can feel my heart rate coming down. And you can adjust the count number depending on how your breathing rate is already. Like you might want to start shorter. You could even do 2 or 3 counts for each section. And then as you calm down, you could also stretch it out a bit. A great way to help with stress and in general just saving your body during this time is really making sleep a priority, and making your bedtime and routine, continuing to keep some consistency with that, or at least like keep an eye on that, mindful of the fact that sleeping is really important, and it's the time when the body does so much healing and recovery. Another, important aspect is like with all of this sort of added stress, change, disruption of routine, and maybe consumption of things that are a little bit harder for the body, it's a good time to maintain your health regimen, whether it's, coffee enema program, your liver flushing plan, at least like have those in the schedule if you already do. And if you don't already, it's a good thing to consider, how can I be supporting my body, especially the organs that take care of cleanup and detoxification of the body during this time. A lot of people say they're going to start their healthcare programs in the new year, but if you totally put off healthcare during the time leading up to that, you're really setting yourself back for the start of the new year. And like we talked about, there's the winter time, especially according to Chinese medicine, is this time of consolidation and sort of like building up the internal fires that are going to sustain you for the rest of the year. So you don't want to carve like a huge deficit out at this time, because that's going to set you back in the new year, and it may be hard to catch up from that. So my suggestion would be to take advantage now of the opportunity to learn more about your health, support your health, and make that a priority, and support your liver, so that you actually have more of a running start into the new year, and that the whole trajectory of the next few seasons, you're setting yourself up for success with that. And on that note, I am offering a giving thanks 33% discount for up to 9 new people for the Liberate Your Liver all-inclusive program with all the coaching. So if you're feeling like you'd like that extra support and to really, take care from the inner root of the organ that takes care of us all the time, every day, all night, working so hard for us, please reach out. There's a limited amount of spaces for this discount, but I'd love to have you and support you through this season. And I hope that these tips and this conversation has been helpful for you and valuable for you. Feel free to share it if it could help other people. And many blessings.